ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So Rama Gita is this Prakarana Grantha that we are studying, and in which Sri Rama is approached by a very troubled Lakshmana who asks for the Upadesha and how to cross over the ocean of samsara. And just in a few verses, Sri Rama says that the only fundamental, permanent, solution to removing samsara and suffering is what? Atma Jnanam. Just like when we treat the symptoms of a disease, they return. But when you treat the root cause, then the symptoms also vanish. Yeah? And so, Sri Rama says that one has to pursue this Atma Jnanam and then Jnanameva Moksha. But then what did we see? We saw that there is an opponent. Opponent is called Purva Pakshi in Sanskritam. And in those times, there were people who would debate and argue. So what is their standpoint? So they argued. So Sri Rama is explaining the different viewpoints to Lakshmana. He says there are these Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi, the one who advocate a combination of karma and jnanam for moksha prapti. So they are anti-sannyasa, anti-renunciation of karmas. They say no, you cannot give up karmas because karmas are also given equal importance in the Vedas and they are mandated in the Purva Bhaga. And just because you're aspiring for moksha, what is the need to give up karmas? That is their contention. And then we saw Sri Rama refutes that and gives a counter argument from 14 onwards and up to 23. So what Sri Rama says is that no, this samuchayaha or combination, cannot, must not, and need not continue. You cannot combine both because they are like light and darkness. They are opposed, diagonally opposite. They cannot coexist. Why? Because following the pravritti marga, karma marga, will make the mind extrovert and gross, and it will only perpetuate the karma cycle. Karmas and desires will multiply, and the punya papa will necessitate janma, and the cycle will continue. And also, the karmas will enforce what? Dvaita buddhi. Dvaita buddhi is like you see only the multiplicity. Suppose you take a karma. Who did the karma? What for was the karma performed? Where was it performed? And, by what means? All these are the karakas. So the karakas will be strengthened and the karta, bhokta status of the jiva will continue. So because the individuality will be very strong, Deha Abhimana will continue and then it will lead to more karmas and one will be entangled in the net of karma. Whereas in jnana pursuit, what happens? Pursuit of jnanam, we turn the mind inwards, the mind becomes subtle and it breaks the cycle of samsara, and also jnanam is resulting in the discovery of the higher I. Am I the karta, bhokta, sukhi, dukhi jiva? Or am I the akarta, abhokta, ajaha, amritihu, atmatattvam? That is the vision of the Shastras. So Sri Rama is now going to further argue with these people and say that we never said to give up all the karmas. Shruti never said that. Don't give up all the karmas. Karmas have to be performed initially, adau, as swadharma anushtanam. What for? They have a special role to play. They give me maturity, stability, and steadiness of the mind, which is called Jnana Yogyata, Chitta Shuddhi. And only in a prepared mind can the Jnanam enter. No? It is like if a ground is not prepared, then will the gardener just scatter some seeds there? Will they ever sprout into plants and flowers? No. So a garden has to be given manure and tilled and made ready and fertile, and then only we can plant the seeds. So too, the Guru will only place the Tattvamasi Mahavakya in the mature sadhaka, in the mukshu's mind. So this is how Sri Rama begins to refute their argument. Now, so how is this Atma Jnanam to be gained? That also we saw in the last session, that may the Sudhihi. Sudhihi is this intelligent, mature seeker who has done Purushartha Nishchayaha and who wants to gain the infinite moksha phalam. And so this jnanam is gained by approaching the Sadguru and doing the triple sadhana of Shravana Mananam Nididhyasanam on what? On the Shruti Vakyas. And that was briefly mentioned as Neti Neti. But we know a number of other teaching methodologies like Drik Drishya Sarupaha, then Kshetram, Kshetrajnaha difference from the Gita, and Panchakosha Viveka Prakriya from Viveka Chudamani. So basically it amounts to the path of inquiry. Only a mature mind can enter the Vedanta Shravanam path of inquiry between Nitya and Anitya Vastu. So may that Sudhihi pursue this knowledge, no? And then what happens? Gaining that Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam, which was called Vijnanam in verse number 18, what will that Vijnanam do? That Vijnanam is Bhaswaram, shining. So when that knowledge appears in the heart, it is Bhedakam. Bhedakam means it will destroy the differences. Yeah, that I am different from the world and the world is different from Ishvara. So initially you see we are all born ignorant. There is a triangular format. What is a triangular format? Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, all the three are distinct. And then they collapse into two, Drik and Drishya. No? And then finally, for the Jnani, there is only one. Yeah? Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So that is what Sri Rama is saying, that ultimately when you have the understanding of that Vijnana Matra, which is Amala, which is Advitiya in verse 19, that is the Vidya which will destroy the cause of samsara and by which ignorance will be removed. And then we saw Sri Rama says that what will happen as a result? Sakaraka Maya, the Maya along with its capacity to produce delusion and to veil my mind, praviliyate, will disappear. Will disappear and punaha na bhavishyati, will not return. So you see, here Sri Rama is saying that Vidya, that Tattvamasi Mahavakyam or Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam alone is necessary and sufficient to remove the root cause of samsara. You don't have to combine it with karmas all your life. But yes, karma has its role to play and gives to give me the maturity. Now, coming to this word Maya, Maya means Ya Ma Sa Maya. Etymologically, we can say Ya Ma Sa Maya. Ma means not. So, Maya is that which makes something appear before us which is not really there. And what is really there does not appear. What does that mean? That means the Maya has the power to veil my mind, and to project something other than what is there. The classic example. Why do I mistake the rope, a harmless rope, for a fearful snake? Because the mind has projected. And so in Drik Drishya, we saw this. There are two powers of Maya. Shakti Tvayampi Maya Yaha. Vikshepa and Avarana. First, what will Maya Devi do? It will cover my mind and intellect. And then it will give a mistaken notion. Why am I identified only with this upadhi, with this body, mind, sense complex, when Shastra says that you are limitless, timeless, spaceless, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, but I am identified only with this Anatma body? That is the power of Maya. So, Maya veils what is really there. Can we see the Nitya Vastu, Satyam, Brahma? No, not with our ordinary physical eyes, only with the Jnana Chaksha. Now, to take a few examples of Maya is, we see the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. So, we see movement, but there is no movement. And on the other hand, right now the earth and the room, it seems very stable, but they are spinning, they are moving. We see the waters in a desert, but waters are not there. So the Maya has the power to create an effect which is not really there. And what is really there, Satyam Brahma, and very obvious fact, does not appear as a reality to many people. So that is the effect of Maya. So it was said that Maya sakarakaha praviliyate. So when we gain the knowledge of Atma, that is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then we are free from the avidya Maya. Now does that mean that the Jagat will disappear for a Jnani? No more Maya? Not really. The Jagat will continue, Dvaitam will continue, but the Jnani will no more mistake the imperishable finite objects for the permanent Nitya Vastu. There is clarity. What is Nityam and what is Anityam? So the Jnani will never be subject to the Avidya Maya. That is the effect of Maya. So here we saw that when that pure Amalam, Advitiyam, the one without a second, Atma Tattvam is known, then that demolishes Maya. So what will it do first? It will demolish the prime Karaka. Now prime Karaka is who? Karta. Karta is the I notion. No? We all place the I notion in the finite body and mind. Yeah? And then once the I comes back, every morning, when we get up from sleep, what happens? What is the first thing that will return? I. So I open my eyes in the morning and then and the I returns in the body, and then I'm aware of my surroundings, and today is Friday and I have to do this, I have to do that. And then connected with the Karta, all the other Karakas will come in. Karma, Karana, Sampradaya and all that. So this is what Sri Rama is saying, that once the Jnanam is gained, the erroneous perception, the confusion, the moha, delusion will no longer be there for this Jnani. But for the Jnani also, there will be a minimum ahankar. Yeah? So the Jnani has also got a nama, has got a rupa, and for the body to undergo the remaining prarabdha karma, there will be some karmas. But the Jnani's actions are, it is said, as a appearance only. It is like non-actions. Why? Because karta is not there. The Jnani has Ishvarized everything, has brought Ishvara into one's life, and there is only a semblance of ahankara. It's very, very diluted and thinned out, ahankara. So that is all that Rama is explaining here. Now, we may all get a doubt that this knowledge, that Atma Vastu, this is who I really am, this is the vision of the Shastra. But, in transactional worldly Vyavahara, the I is very different. I is identified with the body and mind, and all the Karakas return. So why this knowledge is not available to me the whole time? In the Zoom session, it's very clear. Atma Anatma Viveka. Nitya Nitya Viveka is very clear. But when I return to my family or at my job, then there is, the whole play of Karakas comes back and Maya returns. And just now Sri Rama said Maya will not return. So why? What is the meaning of this? So the answer here is that, yes, no doubt, Vidya will destroy ignorance and the moha and the cause of samsara. But that knowledge, that clear, abiding knowledge is not going to happen overnight. Yeah, because in our own mind there are so many obstacles. There will be some emotional turbulence will be there. Something from my prarabdha will prevent me from understanding something in the Vedanta class. So I will understand one part, but I may not understand some other part. The next day I may understand something else, and the first is forgotten. So the solution here, Acharyas say, is that one must do consistent, continuous Vedanta, Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasnam constantly over a period of time. So it is a process of growing clarity. Growing clarity. Day by day, month after month, year after year, I have to gain this vision in terms of clarity. So there is no one particular date that a jnani will say, oh, I got enlightened on that day. No, it happens in stages. Yeah. And so that is the reason why, initially we do suffer from samsara now and then outside of the Zoom classes. But in the Zoom classes, there'll be crystal clarity. So we have to abide in this knowledge also outside of these sessions. No, that is the idea here. And all these habitual tendencies we have, this are not just from this janma. We have accumulated our svabhava over so many hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of lifetimes. Yeah, so to remove those vasanas, it will take time. So, but ultimately, what is the point Rama is making here? That jnanameva mokshaha, just as the light alone is sufficient to dispel darkness, this Tattvamasi Mahavakya and Aham Brahma Asmi, that Vidya alone is sufficient to remove the root cause of samsara. That is the main point here. So that was a quick recap up to the 19th verse. Now let us continue to chant from 20th. And then the 19th, we also saw one very important point. That is, how did one gain this knowledge? There is only one means, and that is Shruti Pramanena. Only by the Shabda Pramana. By any other means, we can only gain Aparavidya. Aparavidya, but to know my true higher Swarupa, I have to have the mirror called Shastra. And who is holding the mirror? Guru. So the Guru holds this mirror up for me to see my true Swarupa in the Shruti. That's what we saw. Shruti Pramana Abhi Vinashita Chasa Maya. And this Maya, which is Karya Karini means it is the power of Ishvara to create this Nama Rupa Kriyatmakam Jagat. Look at the manifold Jagat with all its functions and laws and diversity and multiplicity. Who has done all this? It is the power of Maya. Just like the magician pulling out rabbits and roses out of nowhere. No? But once we know the magician, we know the knowledge of the magician, then the magic is not there anymore for us. So to the jnani who has gained Atma Jnanam, then this Maya cannot trap the jnani again. And so the Maya is seen as mithya. So those two words are very important. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. So Mithya we know means a dependent reality. So I will never confuse Mithya with Satyam. What is dependent is dependent. Is born, is subject to change, will decline and die. But what is Nityam was never born, is never subject to time, decline, decay, and hence is forever, nityavas. So that clarity is the jnanam Rama is talking about and giving to Lakshmana. Now let us look at the 20th shloka, which is again about Maya. Once again, a little point is made here, and Padma can chant after me. Yadi sma nashtana punah prasuyate.
यदि स्म नष्टा न पुनः प्रसूयते
कर्ताहमस्येति मतिः कथं भवेत्.
कर्ताहमस्येति मतिः कथं भवेत्.
तस्मात् स्वतन्त्रान् किमप्यपेक्षते.
तस्मात् स्वतन्त्रान् न किमप्यपेक्षते.
विमोक्षाय विभाति केवला.
विद्या विमोक्षाय विभाति केवला.
यदि स्म नष्टान् पुनः प्रसूयते कर्ताहमस्येति मतिः कथं भवेत्. तस्मात् स्वतन्त्रान् किमप्यपेक्षते. विद्या विमोक्षाय विभाति केवला.
यदि स्म नष्टा न पुनः प्रसूयते कर्ताहमस्येति मतिः कथं भवेत्. तस्मात् स्वतन्त्रा न किमप्यपेक्षते. विद्या विमोक्षाय विभाति केवला.
So here Sri Rama continues, to refute that argument of the Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi, and says, Yadi sma nashta na punaha prasuyate. So, if that is indeed destroyed. Now, what is destroyed? To connect to the previous verse. Maya. Yadi sa maya nashta. That's why we have akaranta here. Sa nashta. Okay. So, when that ignorance is destroyed, how will it be destroyed? By Atma Vrittihi. When one has gained the Atma knowledge, Atma Jnanam, then what? Na punaha prasuyate. It will not be reborn. It will not return. Then karta aham asya iti mati. Karta aham asya means that I am the doer. Iti matihi. This understanding or this notion, katham bhavet, how will it be there? This question we don't have to answer. It is a rhetorical question. So, the first two lines say that Sri Rama is telling that when the darkness of ignorance has been removed by the knowledge that Bhasvaram Vijnanam as the Jiva Ishvara Aikya Jnanam in the heart, then na punaha prasuyate. Then this Maya, or the perceiving the differences, perceiving the distinct karakas and getting caught up in this samsara of struggle and kama, karma phalam, punya, papa, janma, this Maya jal na prasuyate, will not be born again. Why? Because the karta itself has disappeared. Karta aham asya iti matihi. This is not there. Yeah. How will it arise again? There is one nyaya. We have seen some nyayas before, like what was that? Shakha Chandra Nyaya we saw in Kathopanishad. So there is a nyaya called Prathama Malla Nyaya. Malla means a wrestler, the wrestling. So it is a sport, maybe also Olympic sport, I don't know. Now, if you want to be, declared the winner of a wrestling competition, what should we do? We have to defeat the Prathama Malla, the one who is top ranked, the ranking one. Okay? And so here, in all the Karakas, the Karta, that I am the doer, he is like the Prathama Malla, the champion. And once you defeat and vanquish and negate the Prathama Malla like Karta, then, there is no return to samsara. Then aham, I am the Karta, how will it be there? So when Ajnanam is gone, means what? Karta is gone. Karta is gone means karma is gone. All the karakas are gone. And when the karma is not there, then how can there be samsara? So, Sri Rama is telling, how can you talk about the combination of karma and jnanam? Once you gain jnanam, then there is no karta. If there is no karta, there is no karma. Then how can you advocate karma plus jnanam combination? So, Sri Rama is exposing the fallacy of that opponent earlier. Then the third line, tasmat, summing up, swatantra na kimapi apekshate. What is swatantra now? This is not Maya. In this line, it is referring to Vidya. So, Vidya or that liberating knowledge, Paravidya, is swatantra, is independent, and it is sufficient. And na kimapi apekshate. Kimapi apekshate na means it does not depend on anything else to give liberation. Jnanameva mokshaha. And the last line is Vidya vimokshaya vibhati kevala. So kevala means that alone is sufficient for moksha. Vidya vimokshaya vibhati kevala. And so in a jnani, what happens that kevala vidya shines vibhati. And there is no more mix-up, no more confusion, moha, delusion is not there, and there is liberation. Okay, that's a simple verse on Maya. Now, in the 21st verse, Sri Rama is going to give us two references from other Shrutis. By Shruti, we know that Shruti is the primary scriptures, Upanishads. So now we are going to see statements in the Taittiriya Upanishad and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which also say that what Jnanameva Moksha. Yes, there has to be renunciation of karmas. You cannot combine karma and jnana. Okay, so both these Upanishads we have not yet studied, and but in the Taittiriya Upanishad there is one mantra in the 4th chapter which is called Mahanarayana Upanishad. It's called Mahanarayana Upanishad, but it is a part of Taittiriya Upanishad. Very beautiful Upanishad. The mantra is Na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amritatvama. Sounds familiar, I'm sure. This is called the Purna Kumbha mantra, which we chant when we receive a jnani or a sannyasi at a function or at a home for diksha. This is the mantra. What does the mantra say? Na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. Not by karmas, not by wealth, not by progeny, continuing the lineage, is amritatvam to be gained. Then how? Tyagena eva. Tyagena. Tyaga is renunciation. So by renunciation means what? Renunciation of karmas alone is amritatvam to be gained. So that mantra we have studied in the Kaivalya Upanishad, and that also appears in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So this mantra, this shloka here, let us chant it first, is going to refer to that Shruti Vakya. Padma can chant again. Sa Taittiriya Shrutiraha Sadaram.
Sa Taittiriya Shrutiraha Sadaram.
Sa Taittiriya Shrutiraha Sadaram.
Sa Taittiriya Shrutiraha Sadaram.
Nyasam prashastha kila karmanam sputam.
Nyasam prasasthakhila karmanam sputam.
Etavadityaha chavajinam shrutihi.
Etavadityaha chavajinam shrutihi.
Jnanam vimokshaya na karma sadhanam.
Jnanam vimokshaya na karma sadhanam.
Taittiriya Shrutiraha Sadaram. Nyasam prashastakhila karmanam sputam. Etavadityaha chavajinam shrutihi. Jnanam vimokshaya na karma sadhanam.
तातैत्तिरीयश्रुतिराह सादरम् न्यासं प्रशस्ताखिलकर्मणां स्फुटम् एतावदित्याह च वाजिनां श्रुतिः ज्ञानं विमोक्षाय न कर्म साधनम्.
So, sa refers to Shruti. Sa Taittiriya Shrutihi aha sadaram. So that Shruti, even Upanishad is, by the way, Strilinga Shabda. Upanishad, Shrutihi, yeah, Shastram, of course, is neuter. So sa Taittiriya Shrutihi aha sadaram. So that Taittiriya Upanishad has very reverentially, with emphasis, sadaram, said, aha. Said what? Nyasam. And nyasam means sannyasa. And sannyasa means renunciation. I told you in the last session, two kinds of sannyasa are possible. One is one takes to ritualistic ashrama sannyasa, which is called vividisha sannyasa. You perform a ritual and you're free from, family life and all that. You just focus on shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam, and by the grace of your guru. And some people take to this lifestyle. But the other kind of nyasa is the antara sannyasa, remaining as a grahastha and somehow managing to pursue jnanam. So here it is said that Taittiriya Upanishad is praising nyasa, sannyasa. And what kind of sannyasa? Prashasta akhila karmana. That is, it is said that even if the karmas are prashasta means praised, mandated, you must do that, even though there are, prashasta karmas like nitya karmas, naimittika karmas, shraddha, tarpanam, panchamahayajnas, all these are praised in the Shruti. But what nyasam? The Taittiriya Upanishad, in this Mahanarayana Upanishad, chapter 4 of the Taittiriya, it says that for a mature mumukshu, what? Even these karmas will drop away. Because the mumukshu is pursuing the highest knowledge. And so, nyasam, prashasta akhila karmanam sputam. Sputam means clearly. So, Taittiriya Upanishad, we find this na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagi naiki amritatva manashubu mantra again. And it clearly shows that renunciation has to be done for moksha prapti. That is the first reference. Then what? Second one. Etavat iti aha. Etavat means this much alone. Iti aha. It is said in where Vajinam Shrutihi. Now, Vajinam Shrutihi just means Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Okay? Another name for Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Now, what is there in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad? The name itself suggests it's a huge Upanishad. Brihad Aranyaka. It's like a huge forest of mantras. And I have shared that story many times, the story of the wise and wealthy sage called Yajnavalkya. So this Yajnavalkya had many students and two wives, Katyayani and Maitreyi. And this Yajnavalkya would go to the court of Janaka and have a lot of, Atma Anatma Viveka debates. And even the public would listen. So in those days, they would have these healthy discussions on Atma Tattvam. And then Janaka would declare the prize money. Some days the prize to be given away would be 1,000 cows, and not ordinary cows, cows with golden horns. So on one day, Yajnavalkya went to the court, and then this was the prize money. And Yajnavalkya, even before the debate, he tells the students, you march all the cows home. That means he's so confident that he is going to win the debate. Such is the wise Yajnavalkya. So the Yajnavalkya was, a householder, a grihastha, and who had done all the swadharma anushtanam and pursued the knowledge and gained the knowledge also and had discussions with the king, Janaka. But then a point comes when he calls both the wives and says, my dear, I want to do Nididhyasanam, I want to take up sannyasa and go to the forest and meditate. So I'm going to divide the property between the two of you, and here it is. And of course, he has to get the permission also. And when he is doing that, then the younger one, Maitreyi, asks him that all this wisdom, wealth that you're dividing and giving us, and you are going away for immortality, will we gain the immortality with all this wisdom? Is her question. And that question triggers a samvada between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi. And what does Yajnavalkya say? He says, no, with money, you will only get some comfort and conveniences, but not amritam. And that amritam can be gained only by renunciation. Yeah? Tyaga. And so in that samvada, he says that whatever is dear to us, whether it is my partner or my children or my job or anything in the world, it is because Atma is the dearest object. Whatever it is that I love right now, you examine that object. You love it because it gives you self-love. It makes you happy. So Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is only because of Atma that anything and everything is dear to us. And at the end of that samvada comes these two words, etavat iti, in this shloka by Rama. Third line, etavat iti aha. So, Sri Rama is connecting to that samvada between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, which ends in the line etavat are Maitreyi khalu amritatvam. Yeah, which means what does Yajnavalkya say there? Etavat iti, this alone, this jnanam alone is sufficient, my dear Maitreyi, for moksha, and you don't need wealth or karmas or anything else. So that is the connection here. Etavat iti aha cha vajinam shruti. Then last is line simple. Jnanam vimokshaya na karma sadhanam. And says jnanam alone gives moksha, the knowledge, and there is no need for karmas. Karma is useful, no doubt, but it is not sufficient for moksha. Let's go to the next one, 22nd. So Sri Rama is very, very patiently, refuting the argument of the Purvapakshi. 22nd shloka. Vidya samatvena tudarshitastvaya.
Vidya samattvena tu dassitastvaya.
Vidya samatvena tudarshitastvaya.
Vidya samattvena tu dassitastvaya.
Drishtanta udahritas samaha.
Chaturna drishtanta udahrutas samaha.
Prithaktvat bahukarakai kratuhu.
Palai prudaktva bahukarakai kratuhu.
Sadhyate jnanamato viparyayam.
Samsadhyate jnanamato viparyayam.
Vidya samatvena tudarshitasvaya. Kraturna drishtanta udahritas samaha. Phalai prithaktvat bahukarakai kratuhu. Samsadhyate jnanamato viparyayam.
Vidya samatvena tu dassitastvaya. Kraturna drishtanta udahrutas samaha. Phalai prudaktvad bahukarakai kratuhu. Samsadhyate jnanamato viparyayam.
So here Sri Rama is again, connecting with the argument in 12 and 13 verses earlier. Remember when the Purva Pakshi says that you have to combine both karma and vidya, jnanam, because both have to enjoy equal importance. And that Sri Rama says, no, that is not proper. How does he say that? Vidya samatvena tu darshitah tvaya. Tvaya means Rama saying by you. By that Purvapakshi was shown. Darshitah what? Vidya samatvena tu kratuhu. Kratuhu means karma. Is the old word for Vedic rituals. See here in this text, karma means the Vedic rituals, which nobody is performing today. So it's not really relevant to us now, but we are studying it anyway. So kratuhu, Vedic rituals, yeah. You said, they are to be combined with vidya. Vidya samatvena. Darshitah tvaya. But that drishtantah, that example, udahritaha by you, which was cited, udahritaha, na samaha. They are not the same. Yeah, they are not the same. Why? Halaihi prithaktvad. Because the result is opposite. Karma will produce karma phalam, which is finite and perishable in time and space. But jnanam, what is the phalam of jnanam? Jnanam will reveal what is there. See, for example, right now, all of us, when we open our eyes, we are seeing each other. That is, the knowledge of forms and colors is there for all of us. That knowledge is revealing a fact. Yeah, there is no karma involved. Yes, I have to open my eyes to see you, and you also have to open your eyes. That is karma. But once the eyes are open, it reveals. So here, Sri Rama is saying that karma produces a anitya phalam, whereas jnana marga produces a nitya phalam. Not even produces, it reveals. So jnanam reveals and karma produces. Are they not different? So phalaihi pritaktvad. And then what else? Your kratuhu, your karma is bahukarakaihi. Bahukarakaihi means it depends on all these karakas. Who is doing the karma? Why are we doing the karma? Where is the karma being performed? For what purpose is it performed? And so on. So, karma or kratuhu is emphasizing dvaitam and it is bahukaraka, whereas jnanam is emphasizing oneness and it is revealing that which is nityam. So, na samaha, they are not the same. How can we give equal importance to both? Yeah, jnanam reveals that which is already there, a fact. No? So, the last line, samsadhyate jnanam ataha viparyayam. Viparyaya means error. So, that is erroneous what you are saying to combine the both. And karma has to do with my will. Will means what? Kartum shakyam, akartum shakyam, anyadava kartum shakyam. I can choose to open my eyes or keep my eyes closed. But once I open the eyes, jnanam will happen. So, no, jnanam is a fact. So, that is what Sri Rama is explaining here, that the subtle difference between karma marga and jnana marga. Result of karma will always be non-eternal. And jnana marga will reveal what is nityam and eternal. Okay? Let's do one more last verse, and that is verse number 23. Sapratyavayo ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः
प्रत्यवायो ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः
Sapratyavayo ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः
प्रत्यवायो ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः
अज्ञप्रसिद्धा न तु तत्त्वदर्शिनः
अज्ञप्रसिद्धा न तु तत्त्वदर्शिनः
बुधैस्त्याज्यमविक्रियाभिः
तस्मात् बुधैस्त्याज्यमविक्रियात्मभिः
विधानतः कर्म विधि प्रकाशितम्
विधानतः कर्म विधिः प्रकाशितम्
वायो ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः अज्ञप्रसिद्धा न तु तत्त्वदर्शिनः तस्मात् बुधैस्त्याज्यमविक्रियात्मभिः विधानतः कर्म विधिप्रकाशितम्
अप्रत्यवायो ह्यहमित्यनात्मधीः अज्ञप्रसिद्धा न तु तत्त्वदर्शिनः तस्माद्बुधैश्चाज्यमविक्रयात्मभिः विधानतः कर्म विधिः प्रकाशितम्.
Now, this is the last shloka which Sri Rama uses to refute the argument or the standpoint of the Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi. Sa pratyavayah hi aham iti anatma dhihi. Okay, now let's go back to what was their argument. Remember, the opponent said, if you do not perform the karmas mandated in the Vedas, you will incur a pratyavaya papa. What is a pratyavaya papa? To take an example in modern times, if you are in the tax bracket and you don't pay your taxes, then there is a fine. Okay, that is the pratyavaya papa in our times. Yeah. So if something that is to be done and expected of one which is not done, then that is a sin or papa of omission. So you will incur that papa. So remember, the opponent said, if you don't perform karmas, there will be an obstacle in your spiritual growth. Yeah? And so how can you have moksha prapti? It will bring only downfall. That argument is refuted here. And how does Sri Rama do that? He says, Sa pratyavayah hi aham iti anatmadhi. So he says, for whom is this pratyavaya papa? For the one who is a anatmadhihi. Anatmadhihi means the one who is identified with anatma. Yeah. So once there is deha abhimana, then what do the Vedas say? Okay, you are a brahmachari, you have to do brahmachari karmas. You are a grahastha, you have to do grahastha relevant karmas like panchamahayajnas. So when there is a anatmadhihi, that is when there is a karta, then only there will be karmas. And then if you violate the karmas, then you will incur a pratyavaya papa. And to come back to the tax problem, see, sannyasis, we don't have a source of income. Retired people also don't have. They only get pension. Are they going to be taxed also? No. So there is no pratyavaya papa for the one who is not eligible to do karma. So only those who are mandated with a karma. For example, Rajasuya Yajna. We have heard Yudhishthira performing Rajasuya Yajna, Sri Rama also. Because as a Chakravarti, they have to do these karmas. No? But not everybody, public is not going to do Rajasuya Yajna. So, Grahasthas do Agnihotra, Brahmacharis do Sandhya, Gayatri. Why? Because they're all Anatmadhihi. They have the Karta notion. I am a Brahmachari, so I have to do this. I'm earning income. I have to pay my taxes. So, Pratyavaya Papa will only be there for one who is a Karta. Anatmadhihi. So, Agnya Prasiddha. Natu Tattva Darshinaha. But the Tattva Darshinas are who? Jnanis. And the Jnanis, they have gained the knowledge of Akarta Abhokta Atma. So there is no Karta there. Yes, there is no Karta there. Then how can they attract the Pratyavaya Papa? It is not possible. Yeah. So the wise are no karma is mandated for them, and so there can be no lapse and no pratyavaya papa, including the nitya, naimittika, shraddha, tarpana. If a jnani wishes to do some of these yajna, dan and tapas, he will do it. But there is no command that he has to do it. Yeah. So did you get that point? that you said that Pratyavaya Papa will be there, but we say that no, for the ones pursuing the knowledge and who have gained the knowledge, there is no Pratyavaya Papa is possible. It is only possible for those who are Anatmadhis, who are still in the Karta Bhokta domain, who are identified with the body. So then there is a status, and then Vedas say you do this, you don't do that, and then only that notion will come. Oh, if I don't do my nitya karmas, I will attract the pratyavaya papa. Third line, tasmat budhaihi tyajyam avikriyatma bhihi. Budhaihi means by the wise. By the wise, and another adjective is avikriyatma bhihi. By those who are centered on the avikriya atma. Avikriya means changeless. Yeah? So those buddhas, the wise people, tattvadarshis, who are centered on the changeless atma tattvam, yeah, there is no karma mandated. So vidhanatah karma vidhi prakashitam. Yeah, so that vidhi nisheda. No, vidhi nisheda means the mandated karmas is not there. So the wise people who have realized their nature to be actionless Atma should renounce all the karmas prescribed by the Vedas. That is the idea in the 23rd mantra here. And yeah, so for this we will come back and do this one more time. And so there are some, technical points here as Atma, Anatma, and Maya, the three bodies, Karma, Karma Phalam. All these, some of us have already covered in Tattva Bodha. Now here, we are having a mixed audience. Some are total beginners. Some have studied Bhagavad Gita once or even twice. Some have Sanskritam background. Some don't have Sanskritam background. So that is our mixed audience here for Rama Gita. But Pujya Swamiji will always say, don't miss a chance for Vedanta Shravanam. Why? Because every time we listen, something will go in. It will create a samskara, an imprint. And the next time we hear, something else will go in, and the previous samskara will be strengthened. So over a period of time, then the understanding and the clarity will come in stages. Yeah? So Swamiji will say, relax. You relax, keep an open mind, and the Shastra will do its job slowly but surely. Okay. So we don't need to be intimidated by all these, technical topics and, long words and samasas. Yeah. We just have to receive what we can understand. What we do not understand, we put it in a box, mental box called pending. Pending. And then you will see that over the time, in course of time, we are going to understand everything that we study. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.